Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, November 18th, 2020. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. While the country's revenue has seen an increase up to the end of October 2020, the total expenditure has also seen a sharp increase. Providing a report on the country's fiscal situation up to October 31st, 2020 on NBC Radio's face-to-face program today, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves said the total revenue and grants went up by 9.9% and current revenues increased by 5.5% from $463.7 million in October 2019 to $489.4 million by October 31st, 2020. He said total expenditure went up by 20.3% due to the COVID-19 pandemic from $581 million to $699 million, which is about $1 million more for the corresponding period in 2019. Capital expenditure went up from $72 million last year to $156 million up to October 31st this year, a 117% increase. The Prime Minister said due to this increase, the current account deficit moved from $45 million last year to $56 million for the corresponding period this year. And despite the increases in the current account deficit, PM Gonsalves said his government is financing the deficit sensibly.
So while I'd heard that the teachers union president had said that they had agreed too early about the COVID, they should have waited and see. They had an increase in revenue, but they don't hear an increase in expenditure. What we have to do to hold it together. And, you know, this morning somebody called me from Trinidad. They said, PM, Vincentians don't understand how much you have helped in saving lives and livelihoods. It's like they have a feeling that COVID don't affect them.
3 female lawyers have been earmarked to fill the positions of Speaker and Deputy Speaker in Parliament and as Junior Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. 34-year-old Keisal Peters has been appointed as a government senator and junior minister in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The announcement was made on radio today by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who said that he considered many persons, including several other women, for the position. However, he felt given what is required, Peters will be the most suitable for the position.
The date of our instrument is dated the 16th of November, which is Monday, and she would be appointed as the minister with effect from Minister of State, with effect from the 30th, because naturally she will have files which she has to put in order at her office with her chambers. It's only a professional thing to do. But she's appointed as a senator, and she is at the moment a senator. She'll take her oath of allegiance on the 30th when Parliament opens for the first time after the election. And I'd already informally given that tentative date to the leader of the opposition when we had our conversation on the Public Service and Police Service Commissions.
Dr. Gonsalves dismissed claims that his daughter Isis, who is part of the SVG UN Security Council's team, was tipped for the position as a senator. He said that neither his daughter nor any member of the country's UN staff was considered.
I was determined to have a young woman. I was determined to have a child of the education revolution. And I was determined to have someone from within one of the 3 Kingstown seats. A whole raft of persons at the United Nations, on our United Nations team, they're eminently suitable. Their qualifications, they have to satisfy the minimum legal qualifications laid down in the Constitution and the law, statute law. But they also have to be suitable for the particular post. And the suitability, I will make the assessment and the criteria, including someone who is au fait with the foreign policy of the government and who has a progressive bent of mind.
The Prime Minister also announced on radio today that when Parliament meets on November 30th, a female will assume the position as Speaker of the House of Assembly. That person is lawyer Rochelle Ford, who had previously served as Senator and Deputy Speaker.
So of the 5 positions, which I have something to initiate, 3 of them are women. 60% of them are women. And 3 of them are young women. I act with deliberation, and I act always in the interest of the country.
Lawyer Ashel Morgan is named for the position of Deputy Speaker. Morgan was named a senator when the cabinet was sworn in just over a week ago. And a new chairman has been appointed to head the Public Service Commission. Former member of the commission, Stephen Williams, has been elevated to head the 5-member commission as chairman. Prime Minister Gonzalez made the announcement on NBC Radio today. He said the other members of the commission are retired public servant Anne Harry, former school principal Dr. George Bristol, former permanent secretary Patricia Martin, and NGO representative Lennox Bowman. The members of the Public Service Commission will also serve on the Police Service Commission except Anne Harry. Instead of Harry, the other member on the Police Service Commission will be Sidney Morgan. In other news, Queen's Counsel panel Campbell QC has thrown out this question to the New Democratic Party. Why are they quarreling with the Lord? He was speaking on his weekly television program Law on You on SVG-TV on Monday evening on the topic "Thy will be done on earth." Using Bible references, Campbell said that the Lord is in charge of everything on earth, and the November 5th elections results was the will of God. He added that the Lord placed persons in the wilderness for years before he raised them up as leaders over the nation, and Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonzalez was in the wilderness for over 22 years before he became Prime Minister.
Why are you quarreling with the Lord when on the 5th of November 2020, the Lord decided that he is not yet ready for Dr. Friday to be Prime Minister? Dr. Friday has had 3 years of leadership training, leadership preparation, leadership experience, but when you compare that to the length of time those before him had to go through a period of training, then you can't be vexed with the Lord for doing what he did. And what happened on the 5th of November was the will of the Lord. Thy will be done on earth. Don't quarrel with the will of the Lord.
Campbell congratulated all the candidates who won their seats at each of the 15 constituencies and singled out the 3 first-time candidates, Curtis King, Fitzgerald Bramble, and Orlando Brewster. He also had a word for Luke Brown, the ULP's unsuccessful candidate in East Kingstown.
My congratulations to all of those who won. My commiserations to those who did not win. And before I leave the topic, let me say a special word of commiseration to Mr. Luke Brown. I know you didn't make it, but I understand from the Prime Minister you're going off to do your law finals. And I wish you all the best in those studies. And I'm sure the time will come, God willing, when you will return to St. Vincent, be called to the bar, and start a career at the bar. And who knows, you may well get back into competitive politics.
Speaking on the appointment of a deputy prime minister, Campbell said while this position is not written in the constitution, it is not unconstitutional.
The appointment of a deputy prime minister and saying that that appointment is unconstitutional. No, that is wrong. It is non-constitutional. In other words, the position of deputy prime minister is not in the constitution. But it is not unconstitutional in the sense that it is illegal or unlawful or should not be countenanced. Because in constitutional law, we look at both the letter of the law and the practice. And the practice in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the last 40 years, in other words, since we got independence, has been for a prime minister to appoint a deputy prime minister.
The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment last evening confirmed 5 new COVID-19 cases in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 4 travelers are returning nationals who arrived with negative PCR test results from Canada on Thursday, November 12th, 2020. 2 of them tested positive on preliminary entry screening for COVID-19 and were transferred from their quarantine sites to approved isolation. A repeat test confirmed them as positive. 2 other nationals who arrived on Tuesday, November 12th, with negative PCR results and tested negative on entry screening, tested positive on day 5, Monday, November 16, 2020. Repeat testing yesterday confirmed them as positive. Both persons were in mandatory quarantine and will be isolated until cleared by 2 negative tests. The 5th case is a non-national who traveled from the USA via Barbados on Saturday, November 14th with a negative RT-PCR result. That adult who was found to be positive on entry screening and subsequent repeat testing will remain in isolation until cleared by 2 negative tests. SVG has now recorded a total of 83 COVID-19 cases, 77 of which have recovered. There are now 6 active COVID-19 cases, all imported from countries categorized as high risk. Following the reported piracy attack of 2 fishermen at sea last Friday, many fishermen have not ventured out to sea, and those that go fishing do not go beyond a 20-mile range. This is what the president of the National Fisherfolk Organization, Winsbert Harry, told SVGTV News today. He said that his fellow fisherfolk are now scared for their lives and livelihood, noting that the attack is worrisome and they would like the authorities to give it more attention.
But it's a very scary moment for the fishers. Some fishers here still in Rose Place are still frightened about it. As you could see, if you take a look, there are a lot of boats who not go and venture out to sea because of this situation here still, and they have some very serious concern. We know that the Coast Guard do not patrol too much on the Atlantic side. They more go down to the leeward coast, and if we could have some more patrolling on the Atlantic side, we know it's a very rough side, but I think with togetherness and work with the National Fisherfolk Organization, I think things could happen.
Harry is suggesting that a patrol boat be put into service by the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, and at the same time, his organization will be stepping up its educational awareness on safety at sea.
boat, because our boats in St. Vincent is J8, K1. If you're from Calaqua, it's J8. So anytime you see a J8, it's a Vincentian boat. And every time you see a different boat, normal like J6, St. Lucian, J4, Dominican. So we now have to work with some education program to show the fishers the numbers of the boats them, because every country have a register number. And one thing I like to see is that the fisheries department have a patrol boat, because I think that is something the fisheries department lack up to, because if the fisheries department have a patrol boat that could do search and rescue and even do some monitoring as well while the fisher folks at sea.
Carlton Miller and Cliff Young, the two fishermen who reported that they were attacked, were back to sea today, even though they are still without their GPS equipment and are fishing only within the 20-mile range.
Them still they gone out to sea back. They gone back to the trade, because this is where feed the family, and this is where they live off of. Although it was dramatizing to them, but they are back out, and they just want to make sure that every fisher folks in St. Vincent be aware of what's taking place on our seas now. We know that we have almost more water than sea in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and now coming on to this time is the peak time where a lot of the fishers will go at least up to 40 to 55 miles and come back and to look for fish. And so we leave at say 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and return with some nice quality fresh fish that the nation could eat at 5 p.m. in the evening time. And it's very concerning. The fishers, one of them was crying when they was talking to me after seeing gun was pointed at you. It was not a nice story.
The fishermen have also voiced their concerns. One of them, Nelson Maguire, said he has not encountered pirates but has spotted them at sea. Other fishermen said it is bothersome, and while they do not see any immediate solutions, it is necessary to work with neighboring countries to tackle the issue.
But reach right up in the north, which is common us. And right now, we can say what we're saying. We might call upon the Coast Guard and Fisheries Bag and tell you patrol in the waters, especially at this time. It's very rough. Our Coast Guard cannot patrol our water. Our water is a vast water around our land. And our Coast Guard can never patrol to monitor what's really going on in our waters. And a day-to-day program, they can never do it. So it needs collaboration with the other islands around, other countries. They collaborate and they operate together in order to make a patrol to make safety within our waters. That's the position we are right now.
It has been very painful. I normally meet these pirates out there, but I always keep away from them. And it's just unfortunately that these guys get caught up with them and they run them down and they stranded them, they took away all they have and they leave them stranded. But good thing they have their life. Well, a couple months ago I meet them up in the south, most over about 70 miles over Grenada, because normally those go deep at sea. As a captain, I was fishing real deep at sea. And I keep away from them because when I observe and I look at the vessel that is beside me, about a mile away from me, I know we don't have that type of boat, because they normally keep 6 and 5 engines on the boat. So I just keep my distance away. I change my course and my compass and I go in a different direction, because I know that is danger. Those boats always carry lots of guns and everything. And I am asking my government to patrol a little more in the North Atlantic side of the country, and let us see if we can get rid of some of these pirates that are affecting our fishermen and their daily life. Since the news I have been to sea, but I always keep my eyes out for these pirates, and I wish all my fishermen my brothers out there could keep their eyes out, and if they see they coming, keep out the way, try take a different route. Me, who is a captain and a boat owner, I'm thinking way ahead. I'm a little bit scared, but I have to go because I work for my country, I work for myself.
We do wish the fishermen all the best while plying their trade. In other news, the West St. George Secondary School will host an International Men's Day conference tomorrow under the theme Building Father and Son Relationship. It will run from 9:15 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and is in observance of World International Men's Day, which is observed worldwide tomorrow. The guest speakers are Reverend Adolph Davis of the Methodist Church and Pastor Brent St. John of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Presentations will also be made by teachers of the school on the impact of a father on academic performance. The main purpose of the conference is to empower young males to be the best in everything they do. Counselor at the West St. George Secondary School, Linda Miller, is extending an invitation to all men and father figures to be part of the International Men's Day conference.
At this event, we are hoping that all male figure who stands in the gap for our boys, so be it the father, stepfather, grandfather, uncle, and older brother, and godfather, we are saying to all the males that represent our student or male student to be a part of this event. The session runs from 9:15 to 11:30 a.m. There are going to be two special guest speakers, the Reverend Adolph Davis and Pastor Brent, along with small insertion from a teacher of ours, Mr. Samuel, who will speak also on the impact the fathers will have on their boys' academic success, along with short videos. An interactive time awaits all.
Miller said she would like to see men be more involved in their children's lives.
Figures, a male representative, we want them to be involved in their boys' life. So we are saying, go to them at sport. They have a sporting event, attend that with them. There's a PTA meeting at the school, come out, make your presence be felt. At home, don't think they're too big, even at 14 and 15, 16. Enjoy a movie together, enjoy the garden together, the beach together, be involved holistically in your boys' life. We are saying that the boys can do well. They can do well once they are supported. So we want to encourage the male personnel, the male representative in our student, especially our boys' life, to be a part of this event.
She added that studies have shown that godly male role model and involvement in the lives of boys will impact greatly their lives.
Involved in the boys' life, we are saying continue to do well, continue on that part. For those who are not yet so actively involved in their boys' life, we are saying get with it. Try to be the best that you can be, because in truth and in fact, our boys look up to these male figures. And if, for example, the father is involved in the child's life, that son would want to imitate that father. So we are saying positive attitudes that are displayed by the male figure in our boys' life, they copy that. A daddy isn't defined as the man who makes the child, but rather a man who extends his hands and time to help raise the child and gives his heart and love to the child. Blood doesn't always make you a daddy. Being a daddy comes from the heart.
The St. Joseph Convent, Kingstown, are first place winners in the secondary school's mobile app category of the NTRC's iCode competition, which concluded yesterday. The school's team, Astral, has won themselves a trip to Barcelona, Spain in 2021 as a result of their victory. In the secondary school ideas category, the St. Vincent Grammar School placed first, and in the open category, Zachary Richard and Giovanni Edwards walked away with the first place position. Here are snippets of the presentations from the winning app teams.
Services. It will not only deliver perishable goods such as groceries and food, but also deliver the little everyday items that may have a significant impact in our lives. For example, hand sanitizers, books, and other household and personal items.
By now, I'm sure you're wondering, who's the app targeted for? Freight.io aims to provide a simple, straightforward user experience that will greatly benefit the average Vincentian by allowing users to order and collect their goods at the tap of a button.
Send our information. So her name, Ella F., her phone number, 246-9800, her address, Sandy Bay. She has an African dress and it is loose. We selected delivery and she paid online.
Confused about what career to pursue and how to pursue it. Sometimes they need a little help or maybe some guidance. Introducing the Career Guidance app. As the name suggests, it is an app that would help people who are undecided or unsure about what career to pursue to decide on a future and a career that best suits their interests and ideals.